I am Anil Kumar sharing with you the test problems on inverse of quadratic function. Now in this playlist we have had a couple of good examples and I hope you have learned a lot from them. Now this one is a test problem. I'd like you to solve this question, and in addition to this particular question I'll give you one more question which is related. So let's go through it once. Equation of inverse for quadratic function. Given function f of x equals to 3 times x plus 2 whole square minus 5. Determine the equation for the inverse. Now in this particular video I will show you how to find the equation for the inverse. And for you I'll have additional problem, that is sketch f of x and f inverse x on the same axis, right? So do that sketching part yourself. We have had a couple of videos before this where we had sketched the graph of the function and its inverse. Now you sketch this function and its inverse, and from there find domain and range for both function and its inverse. And now let's learn how to determine the equation of the inverse when given in vertex form. So we have the function f of x equals to 3 times x plus 2 whole square minus 5. Now steps involved to find inverse equation is, first step, write y instead of f of x. So we get y equals to 3 times x plus 2 whole square minus 5. This is the first step. Second step is swap x and y, interchange x and y. So we get x equals to 3 times y plus 2 whole square minus 5. And after that you need to really solve for y, right? So let's solve for y now. So we get x will bring 5 on this side, becomes plus 5 equals to 3 times y plus 2 whole square. Now we'll divide by 3. So we get x plus 5 divide by 3 equals to y plus 2 whole square. Now we have y plus 2 whole square. How can we get y plus 2? It is by square root, right? So let's do square root on both sides. So we get x plus 5 over 3 square root, and then if you do square root of a square you get y plus 2. But remember, whenever you do square root you have to write plus and minus, right? Because both are your answers. Now you can isolate y and we get y equals to, we'll bring 2 to this side, minus 2 plus minus square root of x plus 5 over 3. Correct? So that is how we get inverse of our function. And now we can write down our answer very clearly, and that is f inverse is equals to minus 2 plus minus square root of x plus 5 over 3, right? So that is how you can get inverse of a function which is given in vertex form. Let's go through these steps once again. So step number 1 is write y for f of x, right? Second step is interchange x and y. Do you see that? Third step is, and thereafter solve for y. Remember, when you do square root, don't forget to do plus and minus. When you do plus and minus, that means for each and every y, you are expecting 2 values for given x, correct? Now you write this back as function notation, f inverse equals to minus 2 plus minus x plus 5 over 3. Note here that I'm not writing f inverse of x, since this is not a function, right? Not a function. Why it is not a function? If I write x as some value, let us say if I write x as minus 5, then I get 0 and I get minus 2, one value. But instead of minus 5, if I write some other value for x, then what happens? If I write 9 or 10 or whatever, then I get 2 values, minus 2 plus minus that value. So plus will give me one value, minus will give me another value. So for a value of x, we have 2 values, that is more than 1, and therefore it is not a function. So that is kind of important thing which you should note from here. Another important thing which you will note is whenever you have to find inverse of a quadratic function, it may become necessary for you to first write it in vertex form and then solve like I have done. So this is a very basic operation which you should clearly understand so that you can do it whenever required. I hope that helps you to understand the process. We'll have a couple of more examples of similar kind. But this is just to remind you once again, what you need to do now is sketch this function along with the parent. Sketch this function and on the same axis sketch its inverse like this function, right? And then write domain and range for both the given function and its inverse. I hope that will be interesting. Thank you and all the best.